So, with this amp here, you've got loudest 1 and loudest 2. You've got presence, bass, middle, and treble. So, well, there's keep everything kind of like midway.
We ought to show that Eddie Allen trick, oughtn't we?
Yeah,
yeah.
Phoning
You
it in.
play.
Okay.
Yeah, Eddie Allen. I went on a workshop with Eddie Allen, and he's been demonstrating amps all his life. And somebody put their hand up. It wasn't me actually. Somebody put their hand up and said, "I turn up for a gig, Eddie, and I plug my amp in, and it sounds great. And then the next gig I go to, I plug my amp in, and I don't alter anything, and it sounds awful. What am I doing wrong?" And Eddie Allen looked at him and he said, "Do you tune your amp?" And everybody went, "What? Do you tune your amp?" And I said, "No." He said, "Well, you've got to tune your amp, otherwise you won't get a response." He said, "So the way they do it, and you usually find that most amps have got the bass, middle and the treble." He said the obvious way is whatever guitar you're using, put it into the amp and play the top 2 strings, just the top 2 on clean. And what he did was he took the treble switch down for nothing, and you just keep, have you got any volume on that? For me,
It's a place
and you
to
keep turning the treble switch until something happens. Because you find that the treble switch goes quite a long way with that guitar before anything else happens, and then you get what Eric Johnson called the sweet spot on the top 2 strings. Then he says, play the middle 2 strings, go to the middle channel, okay. So what happens is it does nothing, and then suddenly the middle 2 bite, and you get the point, and then you know from that point upwards it's doing something. Do you see what I mean? Because a lot of people, they just go, "I don't know, middle." What you should do is play the middle 2 strings, take the middle right down and keep turning it up, and nothing happens, and then you get a sweet spot with that guitar. You get right, from then on up, it's working. And then the part of the puzzle is to take the bass 2 strings, and be different from each guitar. It bites earlier. On that guitar I bite earlier, because it's a basic guitar. And now what he would say is then, even when you play a chord, you've got the middle, the treble and the bass all see? Whereas if you just go, anything can happen. And then people say, "What happens if you've got different guitars?" He says, "Well, it'll be different." Well, what professionals know, and people like Dudley will know is, and he's already demonstrated, Strat. You know the settings for a Strat. How many of you ever tried that before? Anybody tried it?
Yep.
Try it out, because it works. The top 2 strings, treble, the middle 2 strings, mid, the bottom 2 strings, bass. Just play them and turn low volume, and you'll hear it bite, and then you're right, that's the spot. Because you can turn it up to 6 before anything happens. And so you set it on 4, and you haven't done anything. So you just, he went through his whole process with 3 different guitars and 4 or 5 different amps, and you could hear it working. And that's somebody who's been around amps all their life. And it's a revelation to me, because I've always thought, you play a chord and you can't in the middle chord, or you can't in the bass. So try it. It's worth experimenting, because you're setting the amp up for the guitar. Sorry, Dale.
That's all right. That's good. That's a really good point.
Does that only work on valve amps, or is it like on
It should work on all amps, but it's better on valve. Yeah. He was demoing valve amps, so it should work on others. So I've never tried it on a tranny, but it should work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Rich has already pointed out you've got to think about what your context is within the music you're playing. So if you're playing, rock or whatever, there's certain frequencies that you're expected to fill as a guitarist. When you're playing jazz, again, whatever genre, there's certain frequencies that you shouldn't interfere with. So you need to know what your amp and guitar do to not interfere with that. You get such a guitarist, you just have no concept of what they're doing frequency-wise, and they're just completely trashing the bass player. So they've just got, put loads of bass on. Bass player's just going. It's like you're taking all their frequencies. So you've got to know where your voice is within the sound of a band, and make sure you complement the frequencies. We're trying to find that. So once you've got a guitar sound, be sure when you do it within context that you're not then interfering with, because sometimes I have to change stuff. I like my sound, but it's not working with who I'm working with, so I need to adjust it. So don't think because your sound works in your bedroom that it's going to work.
Well, I used to find it, playing with a keyboard player, I would set the treble on my Fender higher than I would do normally if I didn't have a keyboard player. Because the keyboard player's got all that frequency.
All that mid.
And if you don't go above it, you're not going to be heard. And when I used to do a sound check, they said, God, your strap sounds really treble. And I say, yeah, wait till the keyboard player starts playing. Then you won't hear me, you know. So you have to set it according to the other musician. So if you've got a keyboard player, you must avoid his frequencies.
So let's just quickly go through some sounds.